Hi there, thank you for joining me today in today's YouTube video. Today I'm going to be discussing the issue of co-borrower and co-signers. Now, there is a little bit of a difference between the two. We'll just go over those briefly. Co-borrower is more of a situation, I would say, if you and I are living together and we're on the same car insurance policy, and of course we're going to go get a new car loan, we would both be on that car loan. Co-signer, I like to use the example more of the situation of me and my father. I had bad credit at the time. This was after foreclosure and everything else that I was going through. And with my car lease expired, I needed a new car, so I used my dad as a co-signer. Why? Because I knew I would get approved. First place, I've always been self-employed, so that always makes it more difficult to qualify for a loan. But more importantly, because of his excellent credit score, I would also get a better interest rate. So I would save a few dollars. So that's the difference between the two. Now, what I'm going to be focusing on is this issue right here. The liability issue is the same for one or the other. So you have to be careful if you're going to be a co-signer on a car loan or credit card or personal loan, whatever it might be, because it could affect you as well. Now, I hate to be morbid. I use that term a lot, but the reality is creditors do not care about your personal situation. So, for example, if you're a co-signer on a loan and someone passed away, they're going to come after you for the balance on that loan. They could care less that the other person passed away. It's just a reality of life. But there's other things that don't have to be so drastic, right? The other person can lose their job. I spoke with someone earlier today on that issue where the friend lost their job, has not made payments on the car in months. And now that the co-signer is getting sued, that's when he realized for the first time what was going on. Told him, you're going to have to file for bankruptcy because you are both liable for that loan. Now, what happens if his friend files for bankruptcy? Then the client that I spoke to today is going to be liable for that loan. The other person's completely wiped it out. So that's the liability portion. You have to be aware of it. There could be issues of unemployment, cut back on hours, disability. There could be a whole host of reasons why that person, no bad intent, no bad faith. It's just unfortunately life, life circumstances has prevented that person from moving forward and making those payments. That responsibility will fall on you if you are the co-signer. So keep that in mind. Co-signer basically means it's your debt, especially the other person cannot move forward, pay those debts, pay down the debt, is facing bankruptcy, whatever the issue might be. Now, other things that I want you to consider about when it comes to being a co-signer on a loan is your credit utilization score. What does that mean? Well, simply enough, we'll call it the 30% rule. Creditors love to see your line of credit, whether it's on a credit card, mortgage, car loan, whatever, be 30% or below. So let's say you have a credit card with a limit of $10,000, right? If you owe 2,500, that's 25%, right? Creditors love that. If you are close to maxed out all the time, let's just say $9,800, just because you pay your bills on time, every single month for years, creditors don't like to see that little gap between what you owe and what your available credit is. That's a credit utilization ratio. What they like to see is a huge gap between. The bigger the gap, the better. So 30%, I'm talking on the high end. If you can get it down to 5%, 10%, 0%. Trust me, they will love you. Now, because you're a co-signer on the loan and you are responsible for that loan, guess what? That will affect your credit utilization score. So this might make it more difficult for you. For example, let's say you signed off on a car loan 2 years ago and now you decide to go get a car loan. A lender could easily say, there's late payments on the other car loan. I know you're a co-signer, but it's still on your credit report. Maybe there was a repossession. Whatever that other person does, if that's affecting the car loan or personal loan, is going to be affecting you as well. Now, the fact that you out and get a cosign on a car loan, guess what? That also increases the amount of debt that you have. And so the higher your debt total, the more likely it's going to be that a bank could reject your next credit card application, your next personal loan, whatever it might be. So I know when it comes to issues of co-borrowing or co-signing, either one, you're doing everything in good faith. But just understand that there are things beyond your control. And if that happens to fall, and you happen to fall into that category where the other person cannot maintain those payments for whatever reason, just understand it's going to affect your score. It's going to affect your ability to borrow, and you're also facing liability issues. Okay. That is the most important part. You will be responsible for this debt. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'm struggling with the words here, but it's late on a Saturday. Excuse me. Feel free to reach out and contact me. Feel free to post the comments below. I'll be more than happy to respond. If you happen to be paralegals or legal study students that are using my textbook in your courses, likewise, feel free to jump in on the conversation. And of course, continue using the blog. It's a great way to supplement your readings to better understand the material. For everyone else not a paralegal or legal study student, likewise, check out my blog. You can see all the prior comments I've made there before, other prior blog posts about Chapter 7, Chapter 13, car loans, personal loans, student loans, you name it, all that stuff is discussed on my blog. All right. So take care, everyone. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you at the next video.